Sai Sri, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Switch on your video and also the PowerPoint.
Sir, my video is not working, sir. Its camera is not working.
Camera is not working. Switch on your PowerPoint at least. It's
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
select your PowerPoint and short shoot. Now, prior to actually giving the seminars, you must see whether it's working or not. You should have tried it actually yesterday itself, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Screen broadcast. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, today I'm going to discuss about anatomy and physiology of lens
Also classification of the cataract also you have to.
and cataract classification. So coming to the anatomy, lens is a transparent biconvex crystalline structure. It is placed in between iris and vitreous in a saucer-shaped depression.
Operate your PowerPoint also. You are not doing it. Only the headlines are seen here. Okay, go ahead. Alright, so okay.
Okay, it is placed in between iris and vitreous in a saucer-shaped depression. That is the patellar fossa. The diameter is 9 to 10 millimeter. Thickness is 3.5 millimeter to 5 millimeter. Weight is 135 mg to 255 mg. And the surfaces, anterior surface is less convex than the posterior surface. Attachment of lens. Periphery, the lens is attached to the ciliary body with zonules of Zen. Posteriorly by the hyaloidocapsular ligament of Weger. Refractive index is 1.39, that is mean. 1.41 is nuclear and 1.38 is cortex. Total dioptric power is 15 to 16. Accommodative power varies with age, that is 14 to 16 diopters at birth, 7 to 8 diopters at 25 years of age, 1 to 2 diopters at 50 years of age. Structure of lens. Lens consists of lens capsule. It is a thin, transparent hyaline membrane surrounding the lens. Lens epithelium. Anterior epithelium is a single layer of cuboidal cells. Equatorial region comprises columnar cells. And there is no posterior epithelium. Lens substance comprises lens fibers. Mature lens fibers, which have lost their nuclei. Lens fibers are horizontally front to back and concentrically. The lens fibers are arranged compactly as nucleus and cortex of the lens. So first, nucleus is a central part containing the oldest fibers, and it is of 4 types. First one is embryonic nucleus. It is the innermost part. It starts from 3 months of gestation. It consists of primary lens fibers. And the second one is fetal nucleus. It corresponds to the lens from 3 months of gestation till birth. It lies around embryonic nucleus. Next, infantile nucleus. corresponds to the length from birth to puberty. And the last one is adult nucleus. It corresponds to the length puberty to rest of life. Coming to the cortex, it is a peripheral part which comprises the youngest lens fibers. It has suspensory ligaments of lens, which holds the lens in position and enables the ciliary muscle to act on it. Now coming to the physiology and biochemistry of lens, its physiological aspects include lens transparency, metabolic activity of lens, and accommodate. Lens transparency and clarity maintained by a vascularity of
Operate
lens.
your PPT also. We are not able to see anything here. You are a cortex. But what we see is cortex. It is a peripheral part, contains youngest fibers, everything. When you talk, actually, you will have to operate your PowerPoint also. Video website. What happens, Ayasri? Are you able to hear us? Hello? My entire what happened? Am I audible? Yes, come on. Start again. Start again. We are not able to hear you. Sai Sri. Sai Sri was good then. Sai Sri. ఇది ఎక్కడ మాట్లాడుకుందని కొట్టడానికి
Chats.
అంటారా? Sayasri, you are not audible. We are not able to hear you.
Slide the matches.
Sayasri, we are not able to hear you. Okay. Screen broadcasting. ఈ హాలిడే కదా, మండే కాకుండా వెడ్నెస్డే చెప్తారు క్లాసెస్. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడే ఉన్నారు, చెప్పు. ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ స్కోప్ ఏమంటే డైరెక్ట్ అయినట్లయితే మెయిన్ 24,000 అంత అదే డైరెక్ట్. అదేమంటే 24,000, 24,000, 25,000. చిన్నది పెద్ద అయ్యో లేదు, అమ్మాయి వినపడట్లేదు.
తనకు వినపట్లేదు.
Okay, glucose is hello.
You start from physiology and biochemistry right from the beginning because we didn't hear you anything. Go back.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు కూడా వినిపించట్లేదా సార్?
ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుంది. వెనక్కి చెప్పు. ఫిజియాలజీ అండ్ బయోకెమిస్ట్రీ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేయి.
ఓకే సార్. Okay. Okay. Physiology and biochemistry of lens. Its physiological aspects include lens transparency, metabolic activity of lens, and accommodation. Lens transparency and clarity is maintained by a vascularity of lens, single layered epithelium, semi-permeable character of lens capsule, characteristic of lens fibers. These are tightly packed nature of lens cells, narrow lens fiber membranes, and loss of organelles. Role of lens proteins. These are intrinsic proteins belonging to a superfamily of aquaporins and is classified as aquaporin MIP26 or aquaporin 0. It serves two functions, that is, it controls transport of water and glycerol, pump mechanism of lens fiber membrane, it maintains dehydration and auto-oxidation and high concentration of reduced glutathione in lens. Coming to the metabolism, lens requires a continuous supply of energy for active transport of ions and amino acids, maintenance of lens dehydration, and for continuous protein and GSH synthesis. Most of it is utilized in epithelium. Sources of nutrient supply. It supplies chemical exchange with aqueous humor. Some nutrition is also derived from vitreous humor. Next, pathway of glucose metabolism. Glucose is very essential for normal working of lens. Metabolic activity of lens is limited to epithelium and cortex. Glucose is rapidly metabolized through 4 pathways. Glycolytic pathway, 80% of glucose is metabolized. HMP shunt is responsible for metabolism of 15% of glucose. Krebs citric acid cycle and sorbitol pathway. Antioxidant mechanism of lens are enzymatic defense mechanism, which includes reduced glutathione, glutathione peroxidase, superoxide dismutase, and catalase. Non-enzymatic defense mechanism includes vitamin C and E and possibly carotenoids. Coming to the cataract classification, the word cataract derived from Greek word cataractus, which means waterfall. The term cataract refers to development of opacity in the lens or its capsules. It occurs due to formation of opaque lens fibers or degenerative process leading to opacification of the normally formed transparent lens fibers. Classification. Etiological classification. Congenital and developmental cataract. Acquired cataract comprises senile cataract, traumatic cataract, complicated cataract, metabolic cataract, electric cataract, radiational cataract, toxic cataract, cataract associated with skin diseases, cataract associated with osseous diseases, and cataract with miscellaneous syndromes. Coming to the morphological classification, capsular cataract comprises anterior capsular cataract, posterior capsular cataract. Subcapsular cataract includes anterior subcapsular cataract and posterior subcapsular cataract. Cortical cataract, supranuclear cataract, nuclear cataract, polar cataract, and polar cataract includes anterior polar cataract, posterior polar cataract.
So actually, I expected actually you people to prepare a little better than what you have presented. I'm really sorry to say that. You said actually the weight of the lens is around 135 milligrams to 285. You said, is that? So when is it
255.
when is it actually 135 and when is it actually 285? At birth, is it 250 milligrams? And what's the weight of the lens at the birth? What's the weight of the lens at birth?
135 milligrams.
35 milligrams. In the extreme surface, actually, it go on to around 260 to 285 milligrams, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
Yes, sir.
radius of curvature of anterior surface of the lens. You haven't
Anti-
mentioned it. Another thing is you haven't mentioned about the attachment of the lens. How actually the lens is kept in place in patella fossa. The onions are thin and it's at various structures of it. Okay. We have
Okay,
to
sir.
mention about it, and we'll have to mention about it. Okay. So in the
Okay, sir.
example, we'll give you as a short notes. The onions are thin.
Okay, sir.
And what's the you said the accommodative power of the lens. How is it important to us? What's the main function of the lens? Ask your people not to.
Accommodation, sir.
Foundation, okay.
Light.
Transmission of light. As I said, actually, you have not mentioned the attachment of the lens. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Refractive power of the lens also. What is it? Refractive power of the lens.
Sorry, sir.
Refractive power of the lens. Total dioptric power of the lens. How much is it?
1.39.
Refractive index is 1.39.
Yes, sir.
So what is the total dioptric power of the lens? I actually
15 to 16 diopters.
dioptric power of the lens.
15 to 16.
260.
16.
16. 1/6.
Yes, sir.
Catapania.
Sir?
What is the dioptric power of the cornea? Okay, you'll have to prepare a little better. And next time, actually, if a topic is given to you, expect more from you people.
40 diopters. Yes, sir.
What happened to you? Your voice is a little hoarse. You're not well or what?
I'm okay, sir.
ఇప్పుడు వాయిస్ అలాగే ఉంటుందమ్మా.
Sir.
Fine enough. So next topic, I think congenital cataract by Spurti.
Sir,
041 Spurti. Come in.
sir. Sir, good morning, sir. Am I audible, sir?
You are audible, but you are not seen.
Sir. Video కనిపించలేదు.
Yeah, now we are safe.
Sir, can I start, sir?
Yeah, please start at PPT.
Yes, screenshot.
share the screen.
Yes, sir.
Congenital cataract.
ఇది నొక్కితే వస్తుందా?
Go ahead.
Closed. Sir, can I start, sir?
Please start it.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, one and all. Myself, Spurti. Today, I want to speak about congenital cataract. Cataract means a simple definition, opacity of lens. Cataract is of two types, congenital cataract and acquired cataract. Congenital cataract is again of two types, infantile cataract and developmental cataract. Infantile cataract, which we can call it as also congenital cataract. Congenital means at birth. The cataract which occurs at birth is called as congenital cataract. Parts of lens. Cursor కావాలి. The nucleus of lens consists of four parts: adult nucleus, embryonic nucleus, infantile nucleus, and fetal nucleus. These nucleus formed at developmental stages. Congenital cataract occurs when disturbance occurred in the lens before birth when child is born. Developmental cataract is visible from infancy to adolescence. The opacity of congenital cataract is limited to either embryonic or fetal nucleus. The developmental cataract is limited to infantile or adult nucleus, which also includes deeper parts of the cortex or capsule. Etiology. Etiology deals with idiopathic, hereditary, maternal, and fetal causes. All of them share 1/3 of cases. Idiopathic is about 33% cases are sporadic and of unknown etiology. Hereditary, inherited cases with systemic disorders and without systemic disorders. If without systemic disorders means mode of inheritance is usually autosomal dominant. If inherited cases with systemic disorders, it includes the chromosomal disorders, example trisomy 21. If skeletal disorders means, example Stickler's disease. CNS disorders, cerebro-oculofacial syndrome. Renal system disorders are example Lower syndrome. Some of common familial cataracts are also seen: cataract pulverulenta, zonular cataract, and coronary cataract. Next, maternal factors include if malnutrition during pregnancy of a mother, it may lead to the cataract. It may associated with non-familial cataract also. Infections, mostly rubella is seen. We all know that rubella is one of the torch infections. Drug injection, if during pregnancy mother is ingested with thalidomide or corticosteroids, the cataract may appear in children after birth. If mother exposed to some radiations during pregnancy, it may also lead to the congenital cataract. Fetal or infantile factors, if oxygen is deficient, it may lead to the cataract. If any trauma during birth occurs also, it leads to cataract. Metabolic disorders, galactosemia, neonatal hypoglycemia, and galactokinase deficiency. Cataract associated with congenital anomalies are Down syndrome and Loeys syndrome. Ocular diseases with developmental cataract, it includes PHPV, persistent hyperplastic primary vitreous, lenticonus posterior, microphthalmus, and it may include malnutrition also. Clinical types. The morphological classification of congenital and developmental cataracts are of four types. First one is congenital capsular cataracts, next polar cataracts, congenital nuclear cataracts, and generalized cataracts. Congenital capsular cataracts. As we all know that lens consists of two capsules, anterior capsule and posterior capsule. So the cataracts occur to those capsules, we are called it as anterior capsular cataracts and posterior capsular cataracts. Anterior capsular cataracts are non-axial, stationary, and visually significant. Posterior capsular cataracts are very rare and are associated with persistent hyaloid artery remnants. Persistent hyaloid artery remnants, we can call them as Mittendorf dots. Polar cataracts include anterior polar cataracts and posterior polar cataracts. Anterior polar cataracts involves central part of anterior capsule and adjoining superficial most cortex. It may arise in the following ways. Due to delayed development of anterior chamber, in this case, opacity is congenital, usually bilateral and stationary. Due to corneal perforation, opacity is congenital and there will be contact of anterior capsule with back of cornea because lens is present behind the cornea. So it includes contact between anterior capsule and back of the cornea, usually after perforation due to ophthalmic neonatarum or any other cause. Morphological types of anterior polar cataracts are they may occur as any of the following morphological patterns. Thick and white plaques in the center of anterior capsule are present. Anterior pyramidal cataract. The thickened capsular opacity is cone shaped with its apex towards cornea. Reduplicated cataract or double cataract. Sometimes along with thickening of central point of anterior capsule, lens fibers lying immediately beneath it also becomes opaque and are subsequently separated from the capsule by laying of transparent fibers in between. The buried opacity is called as imprint and two together constitute reduplicated cataract. Second one is posterior polar cataract. It is very common lens anomaly and consists of small circular circumscribed opacity involving the posterior pole. Associations. Posterior polar cataract may be associated with persistent hyaloid artery remnants. Please remember posterior polar cataract and posterior capsular cataract both may be associated with persistent hyaloid artery remnants. Some of the associations with posterior polar cataracts are posterior lenticonus and PHPV, persistent hyperplastic primary vitreous. Types. Posterior polar cataracts occurs in two forms, stationary form and progressive form. Progressive form, which progresses after birth, it is typically has an onion oral shape. We can see the diagram here, the posterior polar cataract. Third one is congenital nuclear cataracts. These cataracts are of four types. First one is cataracta centralis pulverulenta. It means the powdery appearance. As the name indicates, the opacity occurs at the center. It is characterized by small rounded opacity lying exactly in the center of the nucleus. It is bilateral. It has dominant genetic trait. It occurs due to inhibition of development of lens at early stage and thus involves embryonic nucleus. It doesn't affect the vision. Lamellar cataract, which is also known as jonular cataract, refers to the developmental cataract of opacity occupies a discrete zones in the lens. It is most common type of cataract presenting with visual impairment. It accounts for about 50% of cases. Etiology. It may be either genetic or environmental in origin. If this cataract occurs by genetic pattern, it is usually of familial autosomal dominant. Environmental form is associated with vitamin D deficiency. We all know that vitamin D deficiency maybe leads to hypocalcemia, so it is also included. Sometimes maternal rubella infection, which is contracted between 7th and 8th week of gestation, may also cause lamellar cataract. Characteristic features. Typically, this cataract occurs in the zone of nucleus surrounding the embryo. It is usually bilateral and frequently causes severe visual defects. The main mass of lens, which is internal and external to the zone of cataract, is clear, except for small linear opacities like spokes of wheel, which are called as riders, which may be seen towards equator. We can see the diagram here. The opacity is arranged like spokes. spokes of a bicycle.
So,
Third one is sutural and axial cataracts. It consists of a series of punctured opacities scattered around the anterior and posterior posterior wide sutures. Uh, there are two types of sutures, anterior and posterior wide suture. Sutures means not surgical sutures. Those are joints which we have in the skull. Anterior sutures are in Y-shaped, posterior sutures are in Y-shaped. This cataract is static and bilateral. It doesn't have much effect on vision. The individual opacities may vary in size and shape and have different patterns. They are, first one is floriform cataract. Flora means flower. So these opacities are arranged like a petals of a flower. Coralliform cataract, it is also known as fusiform spindle-shaped axial cataract. It is characterized by an anterior posterior spindle-shaped opacity with offshoots giving an appearance resembling like a coral. Spear-shaped cataract. The lenticular opacities are in the form of scattered heaps of shining crystalline needles. Anterior axial embryonic cataracts occurs as fine dots near the anterior Y sutures of fetal nucleus. Dendritic sutures are also present. They occur as fine dots along the dendritic sutures. We can see the diagram here. This is Y-shaped suture and the opacity is surrounded to that Y-shaped suture. Last one is total nuclear cataract. It usually involves the embryonic and fetal nucleus and sometimes infantile nucleus as well. It is characterized by a dense, chalky white central opacity, seriously impairing vision because it includes almost all the layers of the nucleus. The opacities are usually bilateral and non-progressive. Fourth one is generalized cataracts. In generalized cataracts, first one is coronary cataract. It is an extremely common form of developmental cataract. It usually occurring at the stage of puberty. It involving either the adolescent nucleus or deeper layers of the cortex. The opacities are often many hundreds in number and have a regular radial distribution in the periphery of the lens. So this cataract may affect the periphery of the lens. So we can see in the diagram, the opacity is present at the peripheral side of the lens. Since the opacities are situated peripherally, vision is usually unaffected. Sometimes the associated large punctate opacities, means dot-like opacities, may marginally reduce the vision. Blue dot cataract. It is also called as cataracta punctata caerulea. As the name indicates, the opacity may appear as rounded blue dots situated in the peripheral part of adolescent nucleus and deeper layers of the cortex. This is the most common type of congenital cataract. It usually forms the first 2 decades of the life. Opacities are usually stationary and do not affect the vision. However, large punctate opacities are associated with coronary cataract may marginally reduce the vision. Third one is total congenital cataract. It may be unilateral and bilateral. In many cases, there may be hereditary character. Its other important cause is maternal rubella. Maternal rubella infection acquired during first trimester. It may cause the rubella cataract. Rubella cataract, typically the child is born with pearly white nuclear cataract. It is progressive type of cataract. We can see in the diagram, the opacity appear as pearly white nuclear. Lens matter may remain soft or may even liquefy. The liquefied cataract is known as Morgagnian cataract. So it is also called as congenital Morgagnian cataract. Cataractous nucleus may harbor the virus up to 2 years of the age. Therefore, removal of such cataract is usually followed by severe inflammatory reaction. It may be uveitis or even endophthalmitis. Endophthalmitis means end means severe of the eye. Severe, it may be present. probably due to liberation of retained virus. We have to remember that congenital rubella can be prevented by vaccination of the mother. Since the rubella vaccine is toxic to the fetus, it must therefore be administered at least 3 months before the pregnancy. Rubella syndrome. Congenital rubella cataract may occur alone or as part of classical rubella syndrome, which consists of defects, eye defects. Ocular defects are congenital cataract along with salt and pepper chorioretinopathy, microphthalmus, cornea, and poorly dilating pupil. Ear defects, deafness due to destruction of organ of cortex. Heart defects, patent ductus arteries. Last one is congenital membranous cataract. Sometimes there may occur total or partial absorption of congenital cataract, leaving behind the membranous cataract. Rarely there is complete disappearance of all lens fibers, and only a fine transparent lens capsule remain behind. Such a patient may be misdiagnosed as having congenital aphakia. Aphakia means of lens. Next, differential diagnosis. These cataracts presenting with leukocoria need to be differentiated from other conditions like retinoblastoma and PHPV, etc. Various conditions other than retinoblastoma present as leukocoria are collectively called as pseudoglioma. Next, management of congenital and development cataracts. Firstly, clinical workup. It is most essential in the management of this congenital cataract. First one is ocular examination. In ocular examination, density and morphology of cataract must be noted by the it is indicated by the quality of red reflex seen on distant direct ophthalmoscopy before and after the dilatation of pupil. Assessment of visual function, it is very difficult in infants and small children, but an idea may be made from the density and morphology of cataract by oblique illumination examination and fundus examination. Special tests like fixation reflex and forced choice preferential looking tests, optic kinetic nystagmus, etc. are also provide useful information. Associated ocular defects, which need to be include micro PHPV, foveal hypoplasia, and rubella retinopathy, etc. Laboratory investigation should be carried out are torch test must be done for intrauterine infections. Next, galactosemia is found out by urine test. Loeys syndrome by urine chromatography for amino acids. Hypocalcemia by serum calcium and phosphate levels and X-rays of skull. Hyperglycemia by blood sugar levels. Next, prognostic factors which are need to be noted are density of cataract, unilateral or bilateral cataract, the time of presentation. Next, associated with ocular defects or systemic defects are also be noted. Indications and timings of congenital cataract is partial cataracts and small central cataracts, which are visually insignificant, so they can be safely ignored and observed, or may need non-surgical treatment with pupillary dilatation. Bilateral dense cataracts should be removed early within 6 weeks of birth to prevent stimulus deprivation amblyopia. Second eye should be operated within few days of first day. Unilateral dense cataract should preferably be removed as early as possible within days after birth, with optic correction in first few weeks. However, it must be borne in the mind that visual prognosis in most of the unilateral cases is very poor even after timely operation, because correction of aphakia and prevention of amblyopia in infants leads with a major task. Surgical procedures. The childhood cataracts can be dealt with extracapsular cataract extraction technique. It means capsule is not removed, involving irrigation aspiration of lens, which is nothing but lens aspiration. Sucking is needed, and lensectomy. Lens aspiration can be performed either by manual technique or phacoemulsification technique, which is the latest surgery technique. Lens aspiration is done along with primary posterior capsulotomy in the children below 6 years of age. Lens aspiration is done along with anterior vitrectomy below the age of 2 years. Here in the surgical techniques, femtosecond laser assisted cataract surgery, it is the latest technique which is usually operating in nowadays. I can move out. Next one is correction of pediatric aphakia. It is a major task. Children about 2 years of age by implantation of posterior chamber intraocular lens during surgery. Children below 2 years of age treated by contact lens. Spectacles can be prescribed in bilateral cases. Pediatric IOL. Intraocular lens are mainly of two types. They are anterior chamber intraocular lens and posterior chamber intraocular lens. Anterior chamber intraocular lens is made up of PMMA, polymethylmeth acrylate. They are previously recommended with S-shaped haptics. Now these are no more recommended because of major disadvantages. Next, posterior chamber intraocular lens are made up of acrylic. These are recommended nowadays. Power of IOL. In the children with emetropia more than 8 years, under correction by 10% in children between 2 to 8 years of age, under correction by 20% below 2 years is recommended. Size of IOL. Above the age of 2 years may be standard 12 to 12.75 mm diameter for in the bag implantation. Correction of amblyopia. Amblyopia treatment should be started as early as possible. If we treat early, better the prognosis will be seen. This therapy works best when initiated in young children under 3 years of age. Lastly, other congenital anomalies are ectopia lentis. It is mostly seen. It is the most common congenital anomaly. It means the displacement of lens. Coloboma, it is seen as notch in the lower quadrant of equator. It is unilateral. Lenticonus, it refers to cone-shaped elevation of anterior pole and posterior pole. If the elevation is seen on anterior pole, it is called as lenticonus anterior. If the elevation is seen on posterior pole, means it is called as lenticonus posterior. Finally, microspherophakia. In these conditions, lens is spherical in shape and small in size. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Screen share.
Well, you have done well. What's the anesthesia we give to these people for managing this congenital cataracts? What type of anesthesia you want to give?
Sir,
What type of anesthesia you want to give to
sir, if
operate on the
topical, for topical,
you want to give topical anesthesia for congenital cataract in a child of age? What is the foremost indication for general anesthesia? Children and uncooperative patients, isn't it? So you can't do that. You can't do a cataract surgery in children with a topical anesthesia. So do you think that they cooperate? They don't cooperate. Okay. Okay, thank you. You have done well. Next topic. I don't know who it is. Pranav Teja. Again, okay, I think that's over. Tomorrow we'll meet again and 2 more topics tomorrow. And Monday it happens to be a holiday. So So the last two people who are destined to speak on Monday, they will have to speak on Wednesday. Okay. But don't just copy what is given in Qurana. So whenever we give you actually a seminar topic, we expect you to speak a little more than what is given in your textbooks, routine textbooks, be it a Parson or whatever it is, Qurana. You'll have to read some more textbooks. There are specific monograms which are there for lens, and you can get them in your net, Google, and you will have to read them, and you will have to rather say some more, few more points than what are given in your routine textbooks. Okay, so I think that ends the today's seminar, and we'll meet tomorrow. Invited by Chapledam. Thank you. వచ్చేసారు. అమ్మాయి